This is William Hall with Resist the Mainstream, and a mysterious brain disorder is affecting hundreds of people. But before I jump into this story, just a quick reminder to like, share this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below as well, and also remember to turn on notifications as it helps you get notified when our videos go live. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one. So across the Canadian province of New Brunswick, about 100 people have actually been affected by this mysterious brain altering ailment. Basically, it's kind of like an early onset of Alzheimer's. And it's kind of weird to see this take place because this is a very strange situation that's actually taking place here. So let's go ahead and dive right into some of the details. So the neurological symptoms include hallucinations, muscle wasting, vision problems, memory loss, abnormal movements, where these were all seen in 2015 in a small cluster of patients, but eventually that has now grown to 48 cases, and the number is continuing to exceed higher than 200 at this point. So in addition to all of this, an unusual number of those cases are in young people who do not typically show signs like dementia. Now this is a major red flag because when you're starting to see these types of brain disorders, things like that, especially that only affect older people, you really have to call into question what's really taking place here. Why is this happening? Something has to be unnatural that's causing this to take place, right? I mean, these don't happen just out of nowhere. There has to be some kind of cause behind this. Maybe it's something that people are eating or something that they're exposed to. But let's go ahead and go on a little further into this because there are some speculations as to what's going on here. So a neurologist chimed in on this one, basically saying, I am particularly concerned about the increase in numbers of young onset and early onset neurological syndrome. So definitely a concerning red flag there. So over the past year, they said that they've been following about 147 cases of people between the ages of 17 and 80 years old. Once again, a large number of people that are being affected by this right now. Of those, 57 are early onset cases and 41 are young onset cases. So what is the exposure? What's really taking place here? Now, as of 2021, there have actually been 9 deaths attributed to this illness. So it's not like it's a major cause for concern, but it is something that is very interesting because it starts to dive into exactly what is the cause and what is really taking place for this to actually happen and fester at this point like this, right? So this was kind of the most interesting part of this entire story, where a government investigation was involved in this. And they were actually considering environmental toxins as the cause, but it was abruptly shut down in 2021. Seems kind of odd, right? I mean, keep in mind what was going on during 2021. I mean, we were kind of still dealing with COVID at that time. I wonder why they would have shut down a study like this. Maybe it just kind of had a sidestep to COVID and they didn't want to deal with it. Nobody wanted to pay attention to it. But this dives into a bigger issue where the government clearly is not focused on these types of things because of the particular chemical that's involved in this. So people who were a part of this cluster displayed symptoms that varied significantly from case to case, and there was no evidence of a shared common illness or syndrome of the unknown cause. So the idea is that these are varying across the board here. So something has to be to kind of draw all of these together. So they were including and are concluding in the investigation and trying to figure out what's going on with all of this. But Marrero, which is one of the physicians there, and patient advocates aren't giving up and may suspect that the disorder may be linked to the use of pesticides in a particularly rural province. So this is going to be a real kicker here because the actual pesticide that they're looking at here is glyphosate. So this right here is actually something that is in all of our, like, for example, our weed killers, things that you use to basically kill the weeds in your yard, different things like that. So it's a herbicide, and it's very popularly used in the United States all over the place, right? Agriculture and just household use. It's not hard to get this chemical basically from a Home Depot or from any other store that's local to you that sells this type of stuff. So this has really come under focus because this particular chemical is very, very dangerous. It actually binds with certain different elements of the human body, which basically causes our bodies to have these issues. And this could be what's actually causing the problem here. So one of the neurologists basically warned in a laboratory test on patients showed clear signs of exposure to this chemical compound, as well as other compounds linked to other herbicides. There was actually this has actually been going on for a long time, by the way. This isn't new as far as the idea of this glyphosate really existing. It's been around a very long time, for many years, and has also been considered as dangerous to humans for many years, but nothing's really been done about it. Okay, so this is an actual interesting situation because the government basically starts conducting some tests during COVID, and they're just kind of like, you know what, forget it, we're done. They just kind of cancel the whole thing altogether. So that's what's really odd about this. So glyphosate contains phosphorus and can stimulate blooms and blue-green algae as well. So this can sicken people and also kill animals as well. So it's not safe, yet you can get it in any local store pretty easily, right? So advocates of this insist that the true number of cases is at least 200 because they're factoring in the idea that there's probably many more people that suffer from this or have been affected by this that we don't know about, that aren't at least grouped into this group of people that are dealing with it right there, but probably are already died from it or had other health issues as a result of it. So that's something to take into consideration as well. So the people that have been dealing with this have tested positive for multiple environmental toxins, including that one as well, at levels 40 times higher than the average limit. So it's pretty clear that the signs are pointing towards the idea that this is the true culprit behind all of this. So some patient advocates wonder if pressure from industry and groups might be behind a political decision to close the case, which of course it probably is. Once again, this is a situation where this has been known for a very long time. I advise that you also, on your own time, go as well and research this glyphosate, and you'll see on YouTube and different articles have been written about this years ago, well before COVID, a long time ago, basically saying this is one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous chemical that humans have ever made. And yet it's readily available in any store. It's being used at farms and for agricultural use. It's being used in households and especially in our own yards, and it's easily accessible and attainable for most people. So this is something that we're going to have to keep our eyes on because this could turn from something very small now into something far more significant in the future. So tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think this is a cause for concern? Do you think it's not a big deal? Let me know what you think down there below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well. And let us know your thoughts on this whole situation. We'll continue to cover it, of course, in the future to let you know what's going on. So with that being said, I'll thank you for watching this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.